Hey, it's Chris, Luigi Games. I want to talk to you about an upcoming crowdfunding game. Smash the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed and you're watching this. And I'm going to talk to you today from Sideroom Games. This is a game called For Northwood. Now, you probably can't read all of that little print from there, but if you can, it says, and this is the unique part of this game, a solo trick-taking game. Does that interest you? Because it should if you're a solo person. And if you're not a solo person, as I am not, this should still interest you if you like trick taking in general. Why? Because the big problem with trick taking games is, right? You think of The Crew, which is an amazing, fantastic game. I can't get it played because I can't get a group of 4 people consistently right now. Same thing with euchre, same thing with spades, same thing with any of those ilks. Even Tournament at Camelot, Tournament at Avalon. Those trick-taking type games. I can't get a group enough always to play those, or you get 1 or 2 people in a group that don't want to play trick-taking, because trick-taking is a little bit not for everybody. I mean, I'm from Michigan, so euchre is just the king over here. But sometimes if you want to play a trick-taking game, there's not really too many good trick-taking games for 1 or 2 people. So, ergo, filling the void for Northwood. So what are you doing in For Northwood? This is a game of an animal fiefdom where you are taking your hand of cards and you are splaying out 8 fiefdoms in front of you, each with their own rulers, either kings or queens. And then you are taking your 4 jacks, which give you special abilities, asymmetric abilities that you can use at the beginning of your turn before you do anything else, to modify your hand, the fiefdom, or the cards that you have potentially at your disposal. And then you are trying to win that fiefdom, win the support of that ruler of that fiefdom by matching whatever number of tricks they are. And so it ranges, as with the graphic, from 0 to 7 tricks. And you start out with 8 cards in your hand, and that's a little bit tricky, and you can... Tricky, did that there, without even trying. It can be modified slightly, and winning the exact number of tricks you need before either the deck runs out or your hand runs out. And if you've played any trick-taking games like that where you're trying to win only a certain number, sometimes, especially if you're penalized if you're over or under, it's a lot harder than it seems. Let me show you a little bit of a gameplay round, and then I'll tell you my final thoughts. Here you have just your basic setup. You're going to be splaying out the kingdoms or the fiefdoms on either side of the signpost, 1 through 4 on one side, 5 through 8 on the other. 3 of these are going to have stars in which you're going to need to win in order to get the true win condition, but you don't know in which fiefdom they're going to be located at. So as you lay them out, you're trying to say, okay, I need to win them all. I can't bank on winning just those 3. Now here we have the jacks, the royals that are going to be on your side, the ones that you can manipulate each and every hand that you play. You have access to all 4 of them each round, and how you choose to use them and when you choose to use them is up to you. On top of that, we also have the queens and the kings, which are going to be assigned to each of the various fiefdoms that you're going to be going up against after you randomize them to each area. Then you can start to see your hand, or what the deck is made up of all the different suits in the various numbers. You go ahead and you shuffle, and then you get ready to deal yourself your starting hand of 8 cards. Here is one of the jacks that's available for manipulation, and I'm going to go for the first fiefdom, which means I need to win 1 trick out of 8. So we slide over the marker, and then I can pick up and show you what the fiefdom's power is for this noble or king. If I win this, I can substitute one of my jacks with this power to then be able to use when I go up against other fiefdoms. Let me show you a few of the other jacks so you can get a sense of what the powers are real quick. You can pause it if you want in between. But these are ways that I'm going to be able to mitigate or manipulate my own cards, my own hand, or even the trump suit themselves to give me better options, and in this case to win 0 of the 8 tricks that are going to be available to me. So here we have the pile that's going to be played off the top of the deck, which is going to be the fiefdoms versus the cards I'm going to be playing. And if I tap my jack, that means I'm going to be utilizing that power this turn as I'm going. And that power allows me to swap out for one of the other nobles that I'm facing to make it a little bit easier based on the cards that are in my hand, knowing what I'm going up against. Now I'm still going for the 1 trick out of 8, but now I have a little bit more control over what's going to happen. So I then reveal, look through the deck, and again, choosing very carefully, do I want to win the trick or not? If I don't win the trick, I leave the cards in the pile, then you just rinse and repeat. Again, using another power here to manipulate the cards that are in front of me. Again, allowing me to draw extra cards in this case, and then being able to discard accordingly. Once I've done that, flip over the top card, again, comparing it to what I want to play, and do I want to win the trick or not, and again, being very careful to say, okay, what am I doing, how am I doing this, and then being careful to choose when I'm going to try to win this trick, and when I'm going to try to avoid it based on the trump that's in my hand. Now, just like with regular trick-taking games, sometimes you get something and there's nothing you can do about that. And then again, there you go. I only have that card, which means, again, there we go. Again, playing offsuit will always not make you win the trick. And again, if you can get it, great. You get to take that noble. If you don't, you put it back and you mark it so this shows that you do not win it. Now again, you don't know whether or not there's a star underneath that card under the noble, so you don't know whether or not you've potentially already lost one of those stars that's available. Then you go ahead and reset all of your jacks, which are usable in the next round, shuffle up the deck as a whole, and then rinse and repeat on another fiefdom of your choice, anywhere along the spectrum. Now, let's say I had won, though. Let's say I had achieved my goal number of tricks. Then I could use that noble to replace one of the jacks that I had previously, and then it becomes that spot, and I can use it and manipulate it during further rounds. Play through all 8 fiefdoms, and then flip over to see if you've got all the stars on 3 different difficulties. You can try your hand. So what do I think of this thing? What do I think of this? I am super impressed. Full disclaimer, I really liked their previous game, Mechanical Beast. It was not for everybody. Same thing with this. This is not going to be for everybody. The randomness that comes from pulling the deck, as you saw in the gameplay example, there was literally one card in the deck that could have caused me to lose, and I drew it. And sometimes you just can't mitigate it. And so there are ones, especially when you're at the ends of the fiefdom, 0 and 7, those are going to be incredibly difficult to win. And the rule book says it. And there's even an advanced mode, though, that says you can win any ones you want, but the ones you need to win the advanced mode, you need to win 0, 1, 6, and 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, don't care. Spend your time building up your allies based on those. Bring them to the other areas so you can maximize it. And, you know, that's going to be the big frustration of things is, you know, you're just going to lose like I did in the example there, just by the fact that you just got the one card that just can't be dealt with. Or you choose the wrong one to discard like I did when I was using that jack power of draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. You're going to discard the wrong one. I mean, it's just like it happens with hearts or spades or euchre, right? You know, you pick up the trump card in euchre and you have to discard one before the hand starts. And if you just discard the wrong one to short suit yourself in the wrong way, well, you just guessed wrong. At the same time, this plays really quickly. I mean, you can play an easy game in 20, 25 minutes. Play through all 8 fiefdoms without any trouble. And the advanced mode gives you the advanced animals that you can mix in and shuffle in as long as you have, like, I think it's like 2 of each suit and just a little bit of smattering else there. So you can notch it up even if you think that the regular mode is too easy as well. It gives it a lot of variability there with just a few amount of cards. And I mean, this is it. And again, this is as thick as it is because I've got the paper rule book folded up in here, taking up a bunch of space, which I can't even pull out because it's jammed in there. But I mean this, and now you can hear it shaking and it's not full. So, I mean, again, travel anywhere, take anywhere, play on a flat surface, and it just works. I'm thoroughly impressed by this. And I give them a lot of kudos for making, really different, unique games that are not trying to conform to what other people are doing out there. If you are a solo person that is looking for a straightforward card playing, trick taking style game with a little bit of randomness and luck, this is definitely for you. That's all I got. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for tuning in. Smash that subscribe if you're the first time around here. And, thanks for watching either way. I have a Patreon below. And I just appreciate you taking the time to watch me today. Stay classy. Have a great day. I'll see you around, hopefully. No end ramble. No end ramble this time, in case you're new. I just don't have anything to say. Art style's good. Not that that should be the biggest influence, but it works very well. My kids are all over this. My 1.5-year-old. Okay, so there was a little end ramble. I'm sorry. Can't help myself.